Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links that things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout. Back from the break, where today we are talking about Stoicism and how, hopefully it's going to inspire some of you guys. Look, honestly, we do this, man. I try to get great information, be it sales, be it business, be it whatever it is, and try to be entertaining. But literally, this is like an important deal for me today. Like, this is an important show because this is a big part of how I run my life, and it's a big part of the methodology that I use in every. And I've never given this information to anybody or recommended a book to them on this topic, and they haven't come out the other side of a better place. Sure. So hopefully this will inspire you. Hearing some of the greats talk about Stoicism will inspire you to continue your journey on that way.
So, you know what made them great?
What?
The concept of a benevolent dictator, right? They say Marcus Aurelius came as close as anybody could have.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're truly just, when you're truly looking out for the benefits of all as your main priority, that's what made him such a great leader.
Yeah.
Well, you live what you say, right? Mm-hmm. That's the second thing is you can listen to all this all you want. If you don't implement it in your life and actually live it, you're wasting your time.
Yeah. No, you're there. Walk it like it, talk it. Yep. Is a good way to say it. So back to Seneca, who once said, "Whatever you've been expecting for some time comes as less of a shock." Again, back to if you go through and you weigh out all of the options of things that can happen, both good and bad, you're not surprised when they happen. I got, a couple months ago, or not months, like maybe a month ago, I lost the president of one of our companies. And I never saw that coming. No. Like, I was not prepared for that. I thought this dude was making a ton of money. I thought he was a lifer with us, and I never saw it coming. And now, in the months since, I've structured that business in a way that makes it impossible to ever go into that scramble again. It's just not going to be possible.
Have you
and that was a mistake that I made.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of, you see it in real life. You see somebody dying from cancer for 2 years. When their death comes, life doesn't stop as sudden as somebody in a car wreck. And people take months of can't get their shit together because they didn't see it coming, right? If you see it coming, that shock is so much less. I mean, I've seen people, and it's like, how are you over it? Well, we knew they were sick, right?
Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played Black Panther.
Yeah.
His final words were like, "Oh, I love my family, and thank you for everything you've done." It was this peaceful sort of transition, right?
Yeah.
Because he knew it was coming, he had mental time to prepare, and you go through your Kubler-Ross stages of death and dying and grief. But his final words were kind of very beautiful and poetic and peaceful. And then you hear other final words from people. They're yeah. But it's true. But they're like, or they're just like, "Hey, I'm going to go get some milk."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
it's like, what the fuck?
Bob Saget. Great show tonight.
Great show tonight.
And really loved it.
And find him in his bed, just toast.
Yeah, dude.
So, good guy.
It's great. But
one of the best aristocrats ever done.
Oh, dude, the best. I actually watched it again.
Did you?
I watched it yesterday. I watched it yesterday. That was the first thing I did when I heard that. Was I looked up his telling of the aristocrat joke. Great. Was one of the first things I did. And again, man, what a life for him and Betty White. Not to jump on that, but dude, you are doing it right because there's going to be people fighting over the mic at your funeral, and I think that should be everybody's goal, to have people fighting over the mic when you go. I think it should be. It's not that we have little time, but more that we waste a good deal of it. Seneca. Here's a fun exercise, boy. Here's a fun exercise.
Go look at screen time?
Yep.
No, not screen time. Just take a calculator. So my father passed away when he was 74 years old, right?
I don't like where John's going with
this.
Because I've been thinking about that.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, dude, but here's the point. Memento mori.
Yeah.
You will die.
It bothered me. I had this conversation with the gym the other day with this guy I was talking to, and he's like, my family's here. My family just left, and I was very happy to have them, and it was wonderful. I got to see them all, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but you are thinking, hey, Dad's turning 71 this year.
Yeah. How many more times are you going to see him?
How many more times are we going to do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
5,
It's not
10?
as much. It's
not a fucking lot.
But here's the problem. The problem is everybody wants to ignore death. They want to act like it's never going to happen. Yeah. It's the only thing in your life that you seriously have zero control over. It's going to happen when it's going to happen.
Well,
I mean, there's things you can do that are irresponsible.
You can't outlive.
But I'm saying, but if we just look at this, my father passed away at 74. If I multiply that by 365, I got 24 years left times 365. going on that, I got 8,760 days left.
Pretty good, huh? About 10,000 days?
Yeah, 10,000 days.
27 years.
If
you're lucky, you go that way.
everything goes that far, but it could go tomorrow. I could get in a car wreck. I could.
Dude, 10,000 days is not a long time.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these super healthy people, like Black Panther's a great example. Yep. The guy's a superhero,
Fucking
for Christ's sakes.
Stud.
Great. And gone just that quick. Blink of an eye. When you look at that's what happens. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. So understanding, how many days have you set, and this is what's so kind of infuriating about like my mother-in-law. Like, and it was one of the reasons that I couldn't take it when she was staying with us, living with us, and my father was like fighting for his life or doing what he was doing. She would just get up and just watch TV all day long. I know. And I'm like, my dad would give anything to be able to just go where he wanted to go, do what he wanted to do, and you're choosing to waste the day watching game shows.
Well, and your health, not to be corny, but there's not a single person on earth that like Warren Buffett probably wouldn't trade with.
Yeah.
I'm projecting clearly.
Oh, yeah.
But would you trade position with Warren Buffett?
No.
Not in a million years.
No, because the guy's going to be dead soon.
Your money is worthless when you're at the end of your life.
Yeah. No, it is.
I totally agree with that.
Speaking of
that's
which,
what like I said, I was dating a girl that dad had MS. I mean, for him to sit there and say, I wish I could walk across the parking lot, like, I'll never complain about that stuff again.
Again, you can't beat yourself up over it.
No.
But it's good to always, think about those things.
You got to understand it. Okay, moving on to that. Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor.
That's right.
So many people just like you were talking about earlier, it's the next bag. It's the next thing that's going to make them happy. Dude, being rich is about being very content with what you have. Now, I know that conflicts a little bit with the hustle culture that we have. And dude, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with wanting to level up. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But as much as
happiness,
here's the deal. As much as I want to level up and as much as I want to take my life, my business, my health, everything to the next level, I'm never depressed about where I am today.
Well, you're not going to sacrifice your marriage.
No, absolutely not. I'm very content in where I am today. I have a drive to get to the next level, but
why not? But why not?
Because again, this goes back to because I want to measure myself against something. If I don't have an opponent, I never know how far I am. For me, the opponent is getting to the next level.
Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan, I got to create an enemy.
Yeah, right. I have to have an enemy.
That's so funny because I was just
Scottie Pippen.
I was thinking about that last night, right? Like I was, I went to the store in Summerlin yesterday. And, everybody's getting a Mercedes, Lexuses, BMWs. Then I ran to the store down by my house, and it's a Hispanic store. Mm-hmm. And it was so positive in there. People were laughing, just living life in that store. And I'm like, God, man, like it was so crazy. And then I think about when I go to Mexico and go to these small little villages, they have more fun. They're happier in life than when I go outside my neighborhood. These people are all living
like the
nice
Philippines,
house,
right? Some of the happiest people on earth in the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that voted the happiest country on earth?
Probably.
Yeah. I guess being a VC makes you super happy. Or VA, a virtual assistant, makes you super happy. Not a VA. Yeah.
No, but people are happy when they have their priorities straight. If you value family time, you value this, as long as you're balanced, the food on your table. I've said this a lot. Driving an ultra luxury car is not that much better after your first couple days of having it than it is driving a nice Toyota.
No.
It's virtually
Ford Bronco
status.
Well, again, as I said, when you can literally get to a point when you can drive anything you want, I think you might be surprised with whatever you want.
What you would, yeah.
I think you might be surprised.
Yeah,
that's why so many people are F-150s.
That's right.
I know so many.
I love it.
I drove here in an F-150.
Yeah, there you go.
Billionaires, people worth $100 million. They're all driving F-150s, Jeeps, stuff like that.
I love this. The good things of prosperity are to be wished, but the good things that belong to adversity are to be admired. Seneca said that. Now, what that means is this: yes, it's fine to. There's another parable that I'll tell that explains this better, which is this. A man said, my grandfather walked to his job every day. My father drove a Ford. I drive a Mercedes. My son will drive a Ferrari. His son will walk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because greatness is built from adversity. Right. It's where it starts.
Hard men create good times.
Hard men create good times. Good times create soft men, 100%. And I think that's what it is. So don't be opposed to adversity. This is what the obstacle is the way is all about. Dive into adversity. Understand the thing standing in front of you or between you and what you want is going to build you in a way, to strengthen you in a way that even if you don't necessarily achieve what you wanted, it's going to make you stronger.
Right.
Well,
I love it.
The whole no good thing comes without adversity, right? Like if a Ferrari was $40,000 and everybody could drive it, Ferrari's not cool. Right? It's not a good thing.
It's actually kind of a shitty car.
This is why.
No, but exactly.
You
No, I
gotta
get
plug
it. But
your
even
battery
if
in
it
every night
was,
and all this
let's
stuff,
say it's the best car ever. If everybody's got it, there's no adversity. Then it's
Well, you know what the best car on the road is a Tesla. Period.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah,
It just
Toyota.
is.
Toyota.
It literally is.
I
There's no
got one
moving
the other
parts.
day and I was like, meh.
There's no moving parts.
So.
I think can like dance for you. It is infinitely more interesting.
Right.
I got a brand new one the other day and I kind of looked around and went, meh. It's not for me.
I agree.
I think when you look at a combustion engine, it is a moronic thing relative to electric
I
car.
agree.
That's what it is. How many times have you heard this and had no idea where it came from? You ready? Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. That was actually from Seneca. That quote's been around for millions of years. It wasn't Tony
Confucius.
Robbins. Yeah, it wasn't Tony Robbins. No, Seneca actually said that. So, everybody's like, oh, you got so lucky. You're so lucky you have that. No, dude, you don't see the grind, the work, everything else, the overcoming adversity behind the scenes that got me to a place that when the opportunity presented itself, you can get there.
I don't believe in luck. Luck is preparation.
Well, just like the great philosopher Pitbull says, the harder I work, the luckier I am.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Did you just okay?
Great philosopher.
I thought that was Socrates, but it's probably Pitbull.
No,
It's
but
probably
Pitbull's been pushing it back out to people, and they're loving it right now. And again, these quotes.
So Mr.
these
305
quotes-
is just dropping the heat.
yeah,
Right
That's
now?
not even his quote, though.
No, it's not. No, that's what I'm saying. And none of these are. If you go
I don't
watch
think Seneca's
everybody
going
on
to hit him up for a royalty.
Yeah,
though. That's
royalty.
the only thing.
But that's what's so funny is these have been, like you just said, around for
Forever.
hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. I know,
Yeah.
hundreds of
That's
thousands
the
of
good
years.
thing about platitudes.
Hundreds
But-
of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Are you going to start talking about
Thousands.
Jesus lizards now?
No, but it's been around that, right?
Neanderthals?
But now all these guys are just taking. I got my
Grog,
23.
lucky. Grog, work
Alright.
hard.
Again, this is
Nah, but it's been honestly not 100,000, but that's what I laugh. Like everybody's like, "Oh, how can you be
killed
a
John Colt.
Oh, God.
COVID spreader
You've
over here?"
absolutely killed me.
No, but you sit there and it's like, "Oh, that guy's the greatest." Gary Vee says this, or these guys. All they're saying is the same shit that's been around.
Well,
They're putting their
say-
spin on it.
I say that all the time. I go, there's no new information. There's
no.
nothing new. It's just a new spin and it's a new frequency on it.
Well, George Carlin had a good bit on that. He goes, I've said something no one's ever said before. I want you to take that red hot poker and shove it up my asshole. He's like, no one's ever said that. I created something finally original. But outside of that, there's very
there's
little
nothing.
that's going to be terribly
And that's
original.
what's great about this new generations, because if you start throwing out these guys, half these people only know who they are.
No.
They don't study this.
go to
but
the
all
source.
of a
That's the
sudden,
point. Go to the source. Don't get the
But-
remix. Go to
no,
the
but
source.
sometimes the remix is better.
Do
right?
75 hard.
No, sometimes no.
Oh, Jesus. When is the remix ever better than the original?
Have you? Oh man.
Name a remix better than the OG.
I
And
mean,
dance music not
anything that DJ Khaled
that
did.
J. Cole one.
DJ Khaled.
The J.
R.
Cole.
Kelly's remix.
think?
The
J.
Fiesta
Cole's got
remix.
one where I love the beat and then he fucks it up and the beat goes really soft after it. But this one just kept the beat hard the whole time. I'm like, that was a much better remix.
No, but
only one I can
sometimes
think of.
you can relate to somebody else.
Right.
Like somebody's going to relate a lot more to, let's hypothetically say, Pitbull than
King David's version of that Bobby Schmurder song. That's a better.
That's the banger.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well, then this is the Colt. This should it's like it's made for you from Cato.
Oh, God.
It's made for you. I begin to speak only when I'm certain what I'll say isn't better left unsaid. It's like
That's like Lincoln, right?
No, it is because if you think about
It's
it,
Lincoln.
dude,
He said it's better to. Was that Lincoln? He said it's
it's
better.
better to be thought a fool than open your mouth and prove it. Yeah, I think it might have been Lincoln. I'm not sure, but yeah, I begin to speak only when I'm certain that what I'll say isn't better left unsaid. You can't unsay things, and I think more importantly, you can't untype things.
Oh yeah.
So on social media, like you got to take a break when you get triggered and you want to write that diatribe on social media. Just wait a second, or even maybe if it's something a little too controversial, you might want to hold back on the like button. Like we have a policy here, social media. Yeah. Like here's our policy within social media, within the company. If you write something on social media that is of a detriment to a protected class, you're gonna go. And that includes like when somebody writes something that is blatantly racist or idiotic,
Sure.
and the first thing it says is liked by this person. That's the same as saying it.
Yeah.
That's the same as saying it. So
it happens a lot.
it does, man.
Happens
It
a
does.
lot,
So
but-
think about what you're doing. Just think about it.
Think about how you're viewed.
10 seconds on lips, a lifetime in the heart, right? Like whatever you say, they're going to listen.
That's
They're going
it.
to take it to heart.
That's it. Associate with people who are likely to improve you, Seneca said.
Yeah.
Why
I
improve
think-
you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
Of course. Of course.
show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Like everybody says. I mean, if you're not hanging around with people that are making you better, that's good. And here's the thing. When we talk about people that are going to make you better, I think, again, we've talked about this a lot. If every single person in your friend group thinks exactly the same as you, you've screwed up.
Yeah.
You've screwed up because you're not exposing yourself to alternative ideas, to alternative thoughts. You're not growing as a human. You're in an echo chamber that just is going to rattle around and hear the same thing.
What do you think of the kind of group texts what guys have, where you'll have a bunch of different people, left wing and right wing buddies, and you'll send memes? I have one that's a LeBron versus MJ, and I got one that's right wing and left wing, and I got a bunch of different ones, right?
Yeah.
And everybody just roasts each other. But I think guys can do that.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if it's. I don't think women have. I don't think women have those. In my experience,
There's a lot of sensitive guys nowadays.
what's that?
There's a lot of sensitive guys nowadays.
No. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if my wife doesn't have a chat group with girls where they're breaking each other's balls.
No. That's
Or
a
like
male thing.
she likes this
No,
one
but they're
thing. and the
supporting.
other.
They were actually supporting each
They're
other.
supporting each other.
No, but we support each other by breaking each other's balls. That's
That's what I'm saying. The way different men communicate.
Yeah.
Men communicate by having, like, I have
Yes.
very right wing friends and I have very left wing friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes they're all in group chats together, right? It's like fun.
Oh yeah.
You break each other's
shake it up
balls.
and see what happens.
Yeah, but it's not hostile. It's not. They don't track each other down and start roasting each other because you're friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, of course.
You just disagree on some
Problem you
things.
can't do that anymore because they screenshot it, crop it, and say, "Yeah, look at this guy. He's an asshole. He's a racist. He's a sexist. He's this. He's that." People, when you're just messing around, the whole Raiders against the Chargers. Oh, they called the timeout because all these receivers were left open. No, it's because they cropped the screen so you couldn't see the DBs and stuff. And I think that's a problem. Is nowadays you gotta be careful what you're doing because people can take and make and run with it.
I can't wait for the deep fakes
break-
to come out and get really good.
Oh,
that way you
dude.
can blame
They're
everything.
already-
That
way
Tom
you
Cruise,
can
the Tom
blame
Cruise,
everything.
the deepfake Tom Cruise guy.
Did you see the Joe Rogan's chimpanzee hockey team?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's good.
Dude,
Check it out.
the deepfake Tom
scary.
Cruise thing looks exactly like Tom Cruise.
But now Tom Cruise can be like, "Oh, that wasn't me."
Yeah, of course. You can be like, that was
a
deepfake.
deepfake.
Yeah, it was deepfake.
Perfect way out of stuff. You almost want it to get to that point.
Yeah, so now
Now
you're just,
nobody knows, so now it's
Yeah.
just up in the air.
That wasn't me. There you go. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality.
100%.
100%, which is, again, worry, anxiety, all of those feelings.
Borrowing worry.
It goes back to
borrowing
your
trouble for
ego.
tomorrow, all that stuff, man. In most cases, I think if you look back in situations where you've been hurt in life or hurt in business or whatever it is, if you look back at your reaction to what happened, your initial reaction is always worse than the actual outcome.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's human nature. And I think because one of the hardest things to do is to maintain being level when the seas are high. It's really difficult to do, and it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of
Confidence, though,
forthright.
to
It
be
does.
measured. To be measured is a certain level of confidence, right? You want to see someone's. There's this thing I like to say that sometimes people that appear inflexible, they want to pretend like it's because they're strong, where in reality they're brittle.
Yeah, it's a flex.
Right. So I don't bend. It's like not because I'm so strong. It's because I'm going to snap if I do, right?
Yep.
So if you can be measured to a response, say, I'm going to take a minute and think about this. If somebody called you up and said, "Hey, John, I just smashed into your car," and blah, 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 and your response is, "Let me think about this for a little bit. I want to reflect on it." Because you're pissed
So
off.
much better than telling you go F off and doing
fuck you,
something
you did
stupid.
this.
Yeah.
No. Hey,
Well, the whole thing this is written about is you can't control what happens. You can only control how you
Your
react.
your
how would you
actions.
respond if I did something bad, crashed into whatever, and if I said, you said to me, "Hey, let me think about this. I just want to,
Well, and listen, and that's one of the cornerstones also of Stoicism is sometimes you got to understand not having an opinion is a choice.
Yes.
Like you
Smart
don't
choice sometimes.
have to have an opinion right away to every single thing that happens to you. You cannot have a choice. You cannot have an opinion. That's an opinion.
You can defer. Yeah.
You can defer it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things, if any of the stuff we talked about today that I can admit personally that I really struggle with, it's that because when in adversity comes up. This is why I said a couple weeks ago, I gotta stop watching Yellowstone, because when people piss me off, my first instinct is to take them behind the barn and string them up. That's like my first instinct is take them on the ride. I'm like, maybe I gotta stop watching Yellowstone. But yeah, that's one of the things that I do struggle with. And that's honestly where Gavin is a great partner to me in the business, is when things happen and I go, like, I start to push that nitro button. He's like, slide your hand away from the controller, turn the key back, and let's think about this for a second. And I definitely dial it back much quicker than I used to. But yeah, being very pragmatic in high press situations, that's not going to the nuclear option sometimes. Right. That's one of the things that I would say I still struggle with on his. So there you go. Well, let's talk about Epictetus, because none of these quotes were from Epictetus. He's probably my favorite philosopher.
Godfather.
Yeah, born in Turkey, lived in Rome till he was banished and moved to Greece and finished out his time there. But I'd actually find some quotes from him because I think he's great. I love Epictetus' stuff, and here we go. So first one I'm going to read, his books are the training weights of the mind. This is what we talked about earlier when I said I had a quote coming up because I knew it was from Epictetus. If you don't invest in reading, and I'm not talking about the Twilight series, I'm talking about you need to make an investment in. I love philosophy. I love it. Honestly, retrospect, if I could have gone back in time and gone to school, I could probably see myself studying philosophy.
Maybe you still will.
I could see that happening. But see, here's the problem. I don't need to do that because I can find. I'm studying it now.
You study.
The process of academia, though, sometimes gets lost. It's like actually somebody gives you an assignment. You have to draft something, right?
No, I agree, but also the social media, YouTube, stuff like that is such a double-edged sword because it's so amazing for stuff like this, and it's so.
I find myself doing that, so I actually registered at CSN because I'm going to probably start taking some chemistry classes.
Of course, you did. God damn, this guy does.
That's because you want to be Walter White, though.
No, it's not.
He's going to be cooking around in an RV.
I remember I took
the power move. We kind of went after that. He's like, Colt, I got an idea for us.
It's going to be the supercharged power move.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Super power move.
It's going to be no more space in the valences. Full valence shells, Avogadro number. No, because there's things where I find like what's challenging to me. Well, bio and chemistry in undergrad. So I took them in undergrad, biology and chemistry. I thought I wanted to be a doctor for a stupid minute. So I took hard sciences and they were difficult.
Yeah.
Far more difficult than the other stuff. So.
Yep. No, I can totally see that. Epictetus, where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself to the choices that are my own. Take
back to your ego.
Own your choices. Now I'm going to skip right into this one because I love this one. I love it. I use this with my kids all the time. And it's this. Epictetus said, anything or anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. Dude, if your kids, okay, here it is. Look, if you got kids and they're fighting, you want to shut that down in a quickness. This is what you do. When one of them comes in and says, Dad, he did this and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to go, oh, so he's your master.
He's your man. He's
what do you
controlling
mean?
you.
Well, he's got complete control over you because look how upset.
Look how powerless you are.
All he had to do was say something and you're completely powerless against it. So he must control you. And immediately, dude, no, it is a snapback of epic performance. Yeah, there is no more telling on that. That is just, oh my God. Because when you realize that people that can anger you or trigger you or upset you
are your masters.
That's your master.
So I have a T-shirt. It's actually from Killer Mike from Run the Jewels.
Yeah, I love Run the Jewels.
It says kill your masters, right? Yeah. And that's a concept that actually means a lot to me at a philosophical level.
Yeah.
Where my whole goal is to kill my masters. I want zero masters. I mean that even myself, I want to master myself, right? I don't want people in control of my happiness or anger, my finances or anything.
Yep.
Your only master is who you create. Your ego creates your only masters, your only enemies, your only things. If you kill your ego, you will kill everything negative.
Well, let's talk about some more ego stuff, Colt. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. You've heard that for a million years, probably. Epictetus said that. Yep. That's where it came from. That's where it came.
Oh, that came from a meme with Jonah Hill on it. No.
So a lot of this stuff has parallels with Buddhism, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If people want to enjoy some of these other sort of things with a different sort of delivery, they all kind of resonate in the same way, but it's that ego's your enemy.
Yep.
Yeah. It really does. It all comes back to it.
No, it does. Just keep in mind, the more we value things outside of our control, the less control we have. So if you are someone that is, very upset about something that's happening to you right now or around you, Got to remember, you're giving control away to that situation. You've got to harness how you feel about things to find peace, to find happiness. And the more, again, this is kill your masters, man. The more people and things that have control over you, the worse it's going to be, whatever they may be.
That's almost a great way when people are bitching about the political landscape either way and be like, I'm sorry you're a victim.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a victim.
Yeah, you are.
The problem
because you're just triggered over.
90% of people out there are living in victim mentality.
No, they are. They are. Back to Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish or stupid. This is the number one reason why people don't get good at things.
Yep.
Because they don't want to look like the idiot on the tennis court, on the lacrosse
in business,
course, in business, whatever else. I mean, there's so many times when you'll have a conversation, and I'll give this. I love my partner that I do flips with, Nick Marietta. I love him for this point, and we'll have a conversation about something, and he'll just go, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
And just be as matter of fact about
Talk
it.
to me like I'm 2 years old.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Like I don't understand what you just said, and I love that about him because so many people, their default response in a business meeting, if something comes up or a concept or something that they have never done before,
bunch of bullshit.
No. It's fake it till you make it.
A bunch of bullshit.
It's well, I'm going to sit here and act like I know what you're talking about, because if I act like I know what you're talking about, then I'm so terrified that you're going to think less of me if I don't understand what we're talking about. And the stuff we were talking about, he had no reason to know.
No, yep.
And I knew he had no reason to know it. And I think, but again, a lot of people's ego would get in the way.
I had a guy yesterday. I had to tell a guy, "Hey, can you take me off speakerphone?" I could tell he's on speakerphone with his client. I could hear his client and everything. I finally sat there. I go, "Man, you are way in over your head. You're going to look like an idiot asking these questions on commercial. This isn't residential. Why don't you call me when you're not with your client so we can have a talk?" Right? Like he just sat there and pretended. I'm like, "Oh my God!" And I won't even go show him the building.
What's the cap right there, Colt?
How much commission?
Because I heard that somewhere.
That lockbox at, and can I go in it right now? Yeah, just stupid stuff. So,
you're like no. 199. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Epictetus.
Totally.
I find self-deprecation when it's genuine. I find I am very self-deprecating a lot of times. I like to crack jokes at my own expense. Sure. I think the funniest jokes I tell are at my own expense, honestly. Except for maybe that the foreskin turtleneck is pretty strong today. But other than that,
it's so funny. I just want to go.
No. Other than that,
I want to go like this.
It's just popping out of the top of it. No, Jesus, that was a bit. Yeah, if you don't watch us on YouTube, the visual that he just dropped,
Colt just docked himself.
Please go to YouTube. There's a reason you should watch this. Colt just basically circumcised his own head on there. It was, I can't even explain what just happened, but there you go. Needless to say, he's still laughing himself, which is great. And we're going to finish this up with one last quote from Epictetus, which is, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." If you stop focusing on things that are beyond your control, you will be free. If you like this and you want to continue, if you really want to get like scientific about it, read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius is a great place to start. It can read like stereo instructions in certain places. It's his diary.
Dry.
It's his diary from ancient Roman times. So it reads a little bit. But if you want
that
something,
would be
but if you, again, where I normally tell people to start out is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's classic Stoicism written in a 21st century tone. Is a good way to put it. And Ryan is a really smart dude. That book probably changed my life in business and life more than any other book I've ever read. I do revisit it. And like I said, I'm currently reading his book, Ego is the Enemy. I read everything he puts out when it comes to this stuff. Couldn't recommend it more. Wish I got money every time somebody heard that and bought a book, but I don't. But if you enjoy this, man, like we always say, if you hated it, sorry. But if you loved it, tell 4 people. And because remember, it doesn't matter if they're talking good or bad. Colt.
As long as they're talking about you.
As long as they're talking about you. See you next time.
And your sweater.
My sweater force.
Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at @thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.